Hello, lovely people. Thank you for watching my video and spending some of your precious time this evening. I hope you have had and are currently having a fabulous weekend. I wanted to share this video because as a coach I speak to many individuals. And actually the people I work with often come up with the same sort of thoughts. And these are the type of thoughts that, sometimes run through your head. And sometimes you'll get one thought coming after another. I sometimes call it scattered thinking. And instead of being present, you're constantly in your thoughts, and that can be pretty tiring and particularly emotionally draining as well. So I thought that I would pick out one of these thoughts and maybe extend a bit of support to my wider community, and that includes you. So the thought I was going to look at this week was that it's Sunday night. I have to go to work tomorrow and I feel really worried about it. In fact, I may have a sense of dread. And I know this is definitely a thought that I had in the past repeatedly for many years. So, if this is a thought that you have or have had, then I think that it's actually promising that your career is important enough to you to be worried about it. And that often we make stories up in our head that make things seem much easier when they actually happen. And maybe you felt this way about work as you hadn't realised that you may benefit in some way by staying the way you are. And maybe when you have that thought, maybe there's something you like about it. But in a year or two, the next week won't matter. And some people would actually say that doing things that are uncomfortable make you grow. And growing pains add to your stature. I think that at some point you may outgrow your role and be ready to take your job to the next level. And sometimes you might realise that your job helps you to achieve simply by asking for support. So, can you remember a moment last week that you enjoyed? And when will you know that it's time to enjoy this week? And imagine waking up this morning and knowing that today was a day that you care for yourself. And maybe now, Sunday, is a day that you feel particularly relaxed and hopeful. And maybe a question you can ask yourself is, what sounds better, feeling positive today or feeling positive tomorrow? So we're often told you should eat more vegetables and do more exercise. Which, yeah, that's probably right. We know that eating well and exercising our body makes us more resilient and will probably mean that we live a longer, healthier life. But along with our physical health, we also have our psychological health, which may be referred to as our emotional health or our mental health, however you might like to refer to it. So maybe along with eating better and exercising, maybe there's something about building up resilience of our mind, and that also will mean that we live a longer, more resilient and healthier life. And one way that you can do that is by giving your mind a bit of a break, preferably quite regularly, either in one long session or just little breaks during the day, creating a bit of space. So rather than being in the past and maybe ruminating on things, or being in the future and worrying about things that haven't happened yet, what if you were in the now? What if you were present? So I'm going to share with you a little bit of a relaxation technique, which you could call a bit of mindfulness, which you could do once a day or practice bits of it a couple of times a day, just to give yourself a bit of space and quieten your mind and have a bit of a break. And I wonder if it's quite helpful to know that the more you practice, the more efficient you become, the easier it gets, and the more effective you are at giving your mind that break. So to begin, just be aware of the space around you. Maybe the temperature of the air, any furniture in the room, any sounds, any particular lights. And then just think about your breath. And you could make it a bit deeper. And while you're doing this, if you want to, you could shut your eyes, but you don't need to. And as you take some deeper breaths, maybe breathe right down into your belly so your diaphragm is dropping. And something that's quite nice as well is making the out breath longer than the in breath. And sometimes that might look like breathing in for a count of 5 and breathing out for a count of 8. carry on breathing in a relaxed way. Shouldn't feel uncomfortable. And maybe bring your breath to a more comfortable and even rate. And as you're breathing, think about where your body is in contact with maybe the chair you're sitting in, or the bed you're lying on. So how your back and your legs are connected to the surface. Maybe your arms are resting on something. Maybe your feet are resting on something. And then just bring your presence to the top of your head. And we're going to just slowly scan from the top of your head to the tips of your toes. And we're going to focus on the top of your head. And then come down to your face, maybe scanning down your forehead, across your eyes, and your nose, and your chin. And then just being aware of your neck. And you don't have to do anything. Just be aware of that part of your body. And where your neck connects to your shoulders. And then where your shoulders connect into your arms, and down to your elbows, through your arms and into your hands. And then continue the scan through your chest, down your spine, into your torso, and your lower back, and into the space of your pelvis. And then take that awareness into your legs. You don't have to do anything with that awareness. Just focus on your legs. And down to your knees and your calves. Into your ankles and your feet. And then take a few more breaths. And bring that focus to the breath. Then, when you're ready, just feeling again where your body connects to that which is around it. So maybe your feet are on the floor, where you're sat on the chair. Your back is leaning on the chair or on the bed, and then your arms are resting on the chair. And then bring some awareness back to the room. If your eyes were shut, maybe it's time to open your eyes and just become a bit more aware of your surroundings. When you're ready, you could think, oh, right, I'm nicely relaxed. I could potentially stay in the present for the rest of the evening. And if you were to do that, what will you do straight after this call? Will you sit and relax and feel positive?